Hello everyone, my name is Matt Scorpion, and welcome back to the Destiny 2 Reset. Quick side tangent, and if anyone lives in Maryland or in the Baltimore area, if you had spotted that fire anywhere on social media or in person, I was barely a mile away from it. So yeah, there's that. But aside from that, aside from the in real life stuff, the Iron Banner of course is back because you're staring at Lord Saladin. He is back at the tower. And it is honestly not much different than last time. Of course, the mode has shifted this time around. I believe currently is Iron Banner Eruption currently active in terms of what active game mode it is. Let's see. Iron Banner. Yes, it is currently Iron Banner Eruption. Basically, the more and more you kill, the more and more benefits you get. The numbers, it's based on the opponent's defeated in one life. Streaks are broken into two tiers called Surging and Primed, that award you increasingly more points and energy at each final blow, but beware, once you become primed, you need to keep quickly defeating or you'll erupt. Essentially, it's cranked from Call of Duty where you have to keep killing, otherwise you die. So there's no passive-aggressive play. There is only going for it. And of course, when you have the hunt, this is when you or a teammate is primed by reaching a streak of 5 or more. Start of the hunt, the whole team gets a boost of energy. It ends when your team has no more players primed. So there is that for Iron Banner. And as well, just because we're here, our rotator match is currently Mayhem for that in terms of Crucible. So if you want to have fun or sweat out your life, then there's Iron Banner. And speaking of things as well, we do have currently a boosted Gambit rank going, so there is that. Then in terms of the Vanguard, currently the Nightfall is the Lake of Shadows. Keep in mind it is the redone Lake of Shadows, which personally I have not done yet, so I can't say if this is easy or hard anymore. But in terms of our master setup, you have the usual master modifiers of extra champions, log loadout, extra shields, and maximum effective level of 1820. Unstoppable barrier champions, which is surprising because it's mostly taken, so I have to actually see how they changed it. Then we also have the arc threat for boosted incoming arc damage, empath for an enhanced radar with enhanced melee damage, chaff for no radar, making basically just enemies do more melee damage. Then the overcharge weapons, depending on the artifacts. Then we also have Void Surge, Strand Surge, and Overcharge machine guns for our Master Nightfalls. And the weapon currently available this week is the Swarm. If you don't know what the Swarm is, it is a high impact frame machine gun, arc damage. Now, a lot of people think machine guns, they might go, and it ain't worth it, but I'm not gonna lie. An adept version of this is how I beat the Hollowed Lair Grandmaster, which is Grandmaster I know plenty of people did not beat when it was its time around. So I would actually recommend getting a decent roll of this. My roll personally was an Unrelenting Dragonfly roll, which is one of those Master Raid ad clear style setups. I don't know what else is new on it, but I would definitely recommend getting your hands on a good adept machine gun. On that note as well, bouncing throughout the world for all of our rotations. So our rotation, let's see. What was the dungeon last week? It was Pit of Heresy. So actually, I think everything. Yes, so our rotation dungeon for farming is Prophecy, which does not have an exotic drop, but you can get a bunch of the gear from it. But I'm not going to lie, some of the Prophecy gear, there's much to be desired. And the farming raid this week is actually King's Fall. So what does that mean? Master mode is currently active, and you can farm out some resilience-focused armor from King's Fall. But of course, that also means that Strand Surges, Void Surges, that stuff applies to the Master version as well. And on that same note, though, all challenges are currently active, so if you need to farm any gear from any specific encounters, or wanted to try for Touch of Malice over and over and over again, this is the week to do it for King's Fall. But going out throughout the worlds in the rotation raid stuff. So starting from bottom to top, Last Wish, we have the Keep Out challenge. Always forget what that does, but that is it. For Garden of Salvation, why is everything in the top left? It is To the Top challenge, which I also forget what that one does. But then, I forgot what raid, right, Into Deepstone Crypt. So the Deepstone Crypt challenge, if I recall, is actually Red Rover, which is one of the most annoying ones. Basically, everybody has to participate in the operator role. You're forced to 3-phase it. It's very annoying. If you want something to get to drop from that encounter, I guess that's the best way to doing it, but I would recommend any other challenge for farming gear from Crypt. Then in terms of Vow, we also have Defenses Down challenge, which is currently the Caretaker challenge, I believe it is. Actually, no, that's Exhibition. This is the third encounter challenge, which you can only kill, one person can only kill the knight once in the encounter, I think. I forget specifically, but it's third encounter challenge if you need specifics. And then in terms of Root of Nightmares, our current active... Oh, wait, I forgot one other one. I skipped over one. Vault of Glass, our current active challenge is Ensemble's Refrain, which is... I think that's... What's his name? Atheon Challenge, which means you have every person when a round of oracles, when they're teleported into the future or the past, have to, what's the word? Break each oracle. One person can break each oracle in each wave, not, what's the word? Everyone only breaks 3 oracles, 1 per wave. There we go. And then in terms of Neptune, for the Root of Nightmares, currently Master Mode is, of course, active once again. Currently spitting out recovery-focused armor with a Void Surge, Strand Surge, Overcharge Shotgun, and then the usual variety of Master stuff. But it is currently Crossfire Challenge, which is second encounter, which my sources tell me that Crossfire Challenge is basically when you're shooting plungers to jump gaps across the way. You cannot trigger it, the person across from you has to trigger it. So if you only have one runner for each side, they basically have to coordinate a little bit and activate each other's plungers to get them to fire across. I'm not sure if that rules out well skating across or grappling across. I think basically if a plunger is triggered, it has to be by somebody else's hand on the opposite side. But that's the gist of from what I've heard. I don't know if there's any buffs required or not, but we will have to wait and see. Now, speaking of rotation stuff into Eternity for the Master Mode variety, the current rotation is taking Cabal and Zydron for Dares of Eternity. Now, in terms of anything else, I think I'm hitting everything on the nail in terms of worldly rotations. Oh, wait, I'm forgetting some other stuff. So our weekly mission this week for the campaign weekly rotation is currently First Contact, which is the first mission of the Lightfall campaign. Last week was the final mission, so the rotation goes all the way around again, in case you need to farm that for gear, alloys, or stuff. But then, of course, our Vex Incursion Zone for the week is the Ahimsa Park Incursion Zone with the rotation or the associated partition in this area this week. And as well, I'm not going to lie, this is kind of a really annoying one because of the frickin' AI that's with you the entire time. But of course, then Terminal Overload rotates through the 3 zones every day, so that is impossible to keep track of. Well, it's not really impossible to keep track of, but you know what I mean. Who can be bothered to do that? But then, in terms of the rest of the week, we have a new set of weekly challenges. We have Force Liberator for defeating combatants in the Defiant Battlegrounds playlist using power weapons. Specifically, bonus damage or bonus progress if dealing solar damage weapons. We also have Relentless Liberator, which is gain bonus rewards using a Defiant Key at the end of Defiant Battlegrounds playlist activities on both normal and legend difficulties. Defiant Keys can be earned by completing either the Lightfall campaign, Terminal Overload, Neo Muna, Raids, Vanguard Ops, playlist activities, Gambit matches, and Crucible matches. They drop everywhere. Rewards earned through the Vestian Ward upgrade at the Ward table will also provide bonus progress. Then we also have Vex Liberator, which is defeating Vex with seasonal weapons. These are Perpetualis, Prodigal Return, Regnant, Caretaker, Raconteur, and Royal Executioner of all of the above. And we also have Defiant Crucible Ornament, which is acquiring the Crucible Ornament for the Eclectic Distaff. If you don't know what that is, basically, after running through the playlist activities playing enough Crucible, you will earn the Eclectic Distaff at rank 16, which is right before reset. Once you earn that and actually reset it, an ornament will be available for Eclectic Distaff. I did just call it Dick Spaff, I think, or something. But yeah, that's how you get access to that challenge in case you did not know. Then we also have Elegant Weaponry for defeating combatants in Vanguard playlists with a sword, bow, or glaive, basically anything that is of old style. Then also Absolutely Stunning, which is Stunning Champions 050. This can be easily farmed in a Daily Lost sector. You could do it as you do things, or you can just go ahead and knock this out in the Daily Lost sector, just stun the same champion over and over again. So on that same note, as everything seasonal, there is, of course, no more seasonal story to go through just yet because the main storyline has ended. Will we get a wrap-up? That's always up to Bungie, but at the same time, here is some stuff to get. So on the front page of Banshee, we have the Imperial Needle, a lightweight frame void bow from Season of the Chosen, which, I'm not gonna lie, this was a pretty decent bow, but at the same time, because it lacks an origin trait, it already falls kind of behind of other things. We also have Judgment of Kelgrath, which again, Genesis on this thing, Legendary Campaign, Aces. I would recommend that anyone that's struggling with the Legendary Campaign and needs something to survive, get this glaive. It's handy. And we also have Battle Scar, a lightweight frame pulse rifle with currently Shoot to Loot and Eye of the Storm, which is not the greatest roll, but at the same time, if you're looking for a solid kinetic pulse rifle, you could do much worse than this one. Plus, the field-tested origin trait is pretty handy in almost all scenarios. We also have Farewell, which is a lightweight frame submachine gun sidearm from Scenes of the Splicer. Full auto frenzy. It's the kind of... Wait a minute. I thought we already had the full auto retrofit. Yeah, I suppose this is an old weapon, so... Bungie, we have another trait that needs replacing, because I don't think this improves fire rate on sidearms, just on shotguns. And then, of course, we have class swords available in any class, which I'm not going to lie. As much as I want to advocate for people getting Crown Splitter, currently Throne Cleaver is available through the season, and it is craftable, so if you really want a good roll on these, just go ahead and make it. You're a lot better off there. And then in terms of gunsmith weaponry, we have Lunalata 4B, a stasis lightweight viced bow. Very handy, pretty solid. Would definitely recommend it with a headstone build, stasis-wise. Otherwise, kind of just use it as a bow. Then we have our Vandal FR6, which is a stasis high-impact frame fusion rifle from Amalon. So it's also in the kinetic slot for a fusion rifle, which is great. But this roll is pretty dirt, but if you can't, keep an eye out for the Reconstruction Kill Clip roll. Or, excuse me, Reconstruction Chill Clip roll. But aside from that, pretty solid fusion rifle. And we also have Stochastic Variable, which is one of my favorite SMGs because it has access to Phase Mag, a old perk on the Amalon SMG type style that could affect its rounds per minute. But aside from that, we also have Amit AR2, which I'm not going to lie, is a very solid auto rifle, solid pick, but is also craftable. So if you need a good roll and like that gun, just go ahead and make it yourself. And we also have Typhon GL5, which this roll, I'm not going to lie, for a grenade launcher, it's pretty dang solid. You could definitely do worse than this, but at the same time, I just wish it was craftable. I would use this grenade launcher so much if I could craft it and double enhance it. Otherwise, it's just falling behind other things. And speaking of craftable grenade launcher, the grenade launcher that I'm pretty sure no one has been able to craft because it literally has not dropped anywhere. Bungie, I'm confused by this. You only need one to be able to start it, but at the same time, buying it doesn't make a red border, so it's hard to tell where you actually get it from. There's no quest to the Enclave like it was for Taipan or Amit. But aside from that, that's everything available for Banshee, so time to wrap it up and see what Ada has for her shader stock. Which, speaking of Ada and fashion, I just kind of redid my Titan. I finally actually dedicated time to a Strand build. So as opposed to just the Heart of Inmost Light spam artifact build, I kind of went a little Strand style with my setup. So if you want to actually judge any of the fashion that you got on my thing, I would love to hear feedback. Because I kind of went for the dark style Strand Guardian, using part ways of the new raid armor and that sort of stuff. So, you know, leave your thoughts. But aside from fashion, the current available shaders are first Vitrified Duality from Season of Dawn, which is a pretty solid shader if I recall. Whoa, and I actually really like the way that looks here. I'm not going to replace it, but ooh la la, I like it. And we also have Tangled Rust, which is a old blue shader from Season or Forsaken, which essentially just gave it the, it's hard to say, but if you remember the right side of Wrong or the Ether Doctor weapons from Forsaken, this is what they basically came as. We also have New Monarchy Succession from Season of the Osiris, which is, I'm not gonna lie, on a buy and leap, they look good. It's just, it struggles on the root gear. Honestly, if it wasn't for the root of Nightmares gear, I probably would have really liked that on something. But that is every shader available, and of course, seasonal reset stuff, as well as the happenings in the week in Destiny. So on that note, I will, of course, be doing the Eververse as usual. But because the seasonal storyline has pretty much wrapped up, there won't be any more videos on that. There might be some more. I might do the usual, you know, Destiny YouTuber things, builds, and whatnot. But it shall slow down for a bit. On that note, my name is Matt Scorpion, and I will see you in the next video.